the youngest member of the Constituency Assembly and the first Dalit woman MLA of the country. Today, we contest election in India, be it Lok Sabha constituency or Assembly constituency. Seats are reserved. There is a reservation system, and on the pillar of this reservation, the existing political parties of the country try to earn their living and try to provide stability to their such facts that after knowing earn their living and try to provide stability to their political chair. But today we will mention such facts that after knowing them you will not be able to stop yourself from clenching your teeth. One of the toughest challenges is not to let tradition and discrimination dominate you. Living amidst privation and not allowing them to overpower you is like carving apart through the person, and only a personality with a stallion house can do this. Today there is a lot of talk about Dalit class reserved seats reservation, but do you know who was the first Dalit woman MLA of the country? Even the Dalit community does not know its strengths, its personality. Do you know that this Dalit woman had opposed reservation? It is not that she was not a victim of the treatment meted out to Dalits. Today's generation is not unaware the ill treatment meted out to the Dalit community. Today's generation is not unaware of the barbaric behavior. But despite all this, you will be surprised to know that the Dalit class was not allowed clothes and clothes to cover to their torso. Cutting of hair was not allowed. Means you can understand for yourself how a person who has no clothes on his body and whose hair is not cut would look like. It is said that if you wish hard, then the universe also supports you. This is a very simple and beautiful language. The reality is that when you keep yourself standing steadfastly, even in the circumstance that breaks you, you have the strength to keep standing. Then the universe also supports us, and for this, it is necessary to have the power of deep patience, stellar strength, defense resistance, and sticking to one's point no matter what the circumstances. We will talk about the woman whose husband's nephew became the first Dalit president of the country. We will talk about that woman who was a strong supporter of Mahatma Gandhi and Ambedkar but did not hesitate in opposing them, who dreamed of any India where there would be no fight to bake the bread of politics, who would teach the whole country this touch how important it is to stick to one's views and keep one's head held high no matter how adverse the circumstances. She was a strong supporter of the idea of a socialist republic with a strong center and was a stern supporter of Article 70 of the Constitution of India. We're quite a leader in support. Just tell you that Article 70 is related to the prohibition of untouchability. That is, the practice of untouchability in all its form has been abolished in it. Dakshinayani's story has been inadvertently dropped over the years by the bigger national figures of her time. It is now time that we acknowledge his leading role in transforming India into a modern and politically balanced nation state. Today in this series of Lady Babe, we are talking about Dakshinayani, who was the youngest among the members of the Constituency Assembly and was the first Dalit woman. She was one of the 15 women included in it. Let me narrate a small part of her speech which has different from the views of Ambedkar and Mahatma Gandhi. But she was a strong supporter of it, and surely there should have been such as an India which could not happen, and perhaps it is not possible even now in the maze of India's complex social system. As long as the scheduled caste, the Harijans, or by whatever name they may be called, are economic slaves of their people. There is no meaning demanding either separate electorates or joint electorates or any kind of electorates with this kind of percentage. Personally speaking, I am not in favor of any kind of reservation in any place whatsoever. She was against reservation and separate electorates, believing that this would not be conducive to the elimination of inequality unless structural reforms such as moral safeguards were implemented. To tell you in simple words, China wanted an India where there would be no barriers of caste restrictions. However, these illuminations with the institutional capacity to combat systematic discrimination led her to turn to politics as a practical means of challenging and eradicating discrimination, and she contested a scheduled caste seat in the Cochin Legislative Council. Dakshinayani had to face a lot of discrimination during her lifetime, but she came forward and in the constitution which held to a first place of a democratic country. She was among the 15 women who played an important role in the making of the constitution. She used to speak in parliament for longer periods on the subject of welfare of non-dominant caste. Then the chairperson used to tell her that you have crossed the time limit and I am allowing you to speak only because you are a woman. The name of Dakshinayani itself was a symbol of destruction because a Dalit girl's name would never mean Durga or daughter Daksh. Dakshini was born in 1912 in Muluk in Ernakulam district of Kerala. She comes from the Pulama community of Cochin, and this community used to be agricultural laborers. Dakshinayani recalls in her autobiography how the women of her community had given her a Java girl who was considered more superior than her community. She never considered herself deprived, coming from a deprived community. Despite being a deprived, she never considered herself deprived.